Hey everyone, Regulars here, and we've got another Sun Team match with the Garchomp on my team, and we're just going to see what we're up against today. So that's the team preview, and I go into my Dawn Fan, lead it off, try and get some Stealth Rocks up. Opponent leads with Rotom Wash. I predict the Hydro Pump, but my opponent goes for the Trick, and Gastrodon can handle with being crippled in that sense, because I can just lock myself into Scald no problem. As you can see, everything except Rotom Wash doesn't like being burned, or at least taking Scald. Actually, I don't even have Scald on this, my Gastrodon. What am I talking about? I have Ice Beam because I'm on a Sun Team. Okay, that was a major fail. Anyways, burn the T-Tar. I predict a U-turn from the Genesect, go into Ninetales, and just burn the T-Tar. I switch out, and that Pursuit still does a lot, even though it's burned. I go into Heatran, because I'm assuming it's going to be a standard, especially defensive set. Rotom Wash comes in, I predict a switch and go for a sub, and I'm just going to Toxic this next turn. Hopefully the Hydro Pump will miss, but it doesn't really matter if it doesn't. I'm just going to get the Toxic off. If the Toxic missed, that would have been a problem. So residual damage and stuff, but yada yada yada, and I believe I'm going to switch out, because I don't want to take another Hydro Pump. He predicts that, goes into Genesect again, try and get off a nice chunk with +1 U-turn. I'm going to stay in, judge how much that does, and it doesn't really do that much. 42%, I can take it. I'm just going to lock myself into Recover, just in case it got a crit or something. And I'm going to be free to switch out into my Ninetales. It's weird to see a Tornadus T on a Sand team. Usually you want to use it on a Rain team because Hurricane, but I guess it's like a Rain team counter or some sort. Anyways, the T-Tar comes in. I know I can't switch out because of the Pursuit, so I'm just going to Sunny Day right here. And that's going to give me a couple of turns to try and set up my Victory Bell. Victory Bell is really fun to use. It's not very practical, but I like it all the same. So, I'm not... yeah, I go for a Growth here, because Growth is going to wreck everything. And in the Sun, I do outspeed Scarf Genesect, I think. I go for a Rudder Ball, does neutral damage, and that much at a +2, that obviously tells me that it is a specially defensive set. Leaf Blade is just going to finish it off. And I think Victory Bell did its work. Like, the rest of the Sun team doesn't really need Sun. I guess Garchomp kind of wants it for Fire Blast, but whatever. I go for Weather Ball here, because, ooh, Weather Ball Rock, super effective, but it turns out this Tornadus T actually has Rain Dance, and that's a +2 rain boosted Weather Ball. So outside of Sun, I'm doing work. Close Combat not enough to KO me. I'm just gonna go for a Leaf Blade, and I'm left at 1%, which is awesome. I'm gonna get annihilated here by this U-turn, but whatever. Victory Bell KO'd a Tornadus T, a T-Tar, and a Terrakion outside of Sun. That's pretty amazing to me. The Rotom Wash comes in. I'm just going to go into Gastrodon. Rotom Wash can't do anything to me, and I'm going to lock myself into Earth Power, I think? No, I'm just going to double switch out into Dawn Fan. There's a choice of going for the Ice Beam or the U-turn. Opt to go for the U-turn for some to switch into Rotom. And I set up my Stealth Rocks here. Late game rocks. Woo! I'm going to predict a Hydro Pump here and just go into Gastrodon. But nope, it's just HP Ice, I think, because that was neutral, and that would have done a lot to my yeah, that would have done a lot to my Dawn Fan. Goes for HP Ice again. I predicted to switch and go for Earth Power. I can stay in here all day, but my opponent cannot because of the toxic damage racking up. So I'm just going to keep going for Earth Power. I don't really care if it keeps going for HP Ice, because at the end of the day, it's not going to do anything. HP Ice, HP Ice. I think there's like a bunch of wasted turns here. I don't really want to speed this up, because I think next turn maybe I switch. Maybe, oh yeah, my opponent switches, sorry. So, my opponent's pretty much forced to switch out because Toxic is doing way too much, and I get that nice special defense drop with the Earth Power. Predicting a U-turn, I'm just gonna go into Heatran. Resist that really nicely. And Magnezone comes in for some weird reason. I guess my opponent saw that Magnezone's pretty useless here. Gonna go for a sub just to see what kind of Magnezone running T-Tar on a on a freaking team with manual rain? Like, couldn't you just put Polytoad there? That makes no sense. Anyways, my opponent runs because there's no point in staying in. I had the advantage there, I guess. So that was an interesting match. Wasn't the best match, but I just wanted to upload that because I thought that was really interesting. Like, why would you need manual rain, especially on a Tornadus T with no Prankster? Just didn't make sense to me. Anyways, that was the battle, and I hope to bring you some more matches in the future. Later.